What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jerome Jones, your favorite humble host, and I'm here with my guy Ray Roberts, and we are on the RPO College Football Podcast. How you doing today, Ray?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm a little tired, but we're gonna push through this. I'm always excited to be talking football with you, man. And every week we talking football, and we finally get into the college football season. It's right around the corner. It's already June. We training, we out there, we're ready for the season, right? You ready for the season?
I've been ready for football basically since the draft, to be honest with you, Jerome.
Seriously, man, like this, I hate this part of the offseason.
It's horrible.
It is nothing. It's just, a little training here and there, a little news here and there, but This is like the drought. And especially when basketball season is going to be over in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be dry until September, but we keep it pushing. We always love talking football. There's always something to talk about, and today we're gonna talk about the top 10 college football teams in America. So we're gonna go from 10 to 1. Me and Ray's gonna give out our team that we think are gonna be in order. I'm gonna pull up my thing right now. And we're just going to go right into it. And I'm going to go first, right? So, number 10, my number 10 ranked team might surprise you, Ray.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Indiana. And the reason why they played very well last year, there was a tough team. They get their quarterback, Michael Penix, which was playing very well before he got injured last year. They didn't lose much. They lost a couple of safety. They lost Jamar Johnson, which is a really good safety. Lost Fillier, their receiver. But these guys, they're a good group of guys. They impressed me last year. I think they're gonna take that next step up, right? Who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Notre Dame. I have them just sneaking inside the top 10. I am a little worried about their offense. They lost Ian Book this year. Mm-hmm. But they still have Kyra Williams. They hired a new defensive coordinator in Marcus Freeman, who I think will keep things kind of like pretty good for right now. Mm-hmm. I almost left Notre Dame out of my top 10. I just couldn't do it, man.
So yeah, I mean, because you did. I literally did the same thing you did, right? And it was between Indiana and Notre Dame, and the pushing factor for me was the quarterback play. They're gonna have a new quarterback in, so that was the difference between Indiana and Notre Dame. So it actually had Notre Dame at 11.
I mean, I had Indiana right outside. I actually had 3 teams that I actually thought about putting in that 10 spot: North Carolina, Cincinnati, and Indiana. Mm-hmm. I went to Notre Dame. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not a little bias. It is. It's me hoping that Jack Cohn, who's our new quarterback this year, plays well. I like him as a transfer from Wisconsin. Not that he's anything exceptional.
Yeah,
he's a solid quarterback. They do have Tyler Buckner, who's a freshman quarterback. I would love to see him get some playing time, but that's just a dream. I know Brian Kelly's not going to do it, so
yeah.
Watch it for myself.
That's me hoping that Michigan starts what's his name? I'm blanking on his name, but the kid that we just got from IG Academy.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, just play him, just play him. But it's probably not gonna happen. We'll see what happens. But number 9, right? I'm gonna let you start with this one.
Number 9, I have Oregon. I think that their defense is going to be pretty good this year. It was fairly good last year. I'm going to worry about their offensive line. I think that, and I'm not sure who is going to play a quarterback. I think right now Anthony Brown leads the pack of Tyler South, Ty Thompson, and Jay Butterfield. Mm-hmm. They're all younger guys, though. But I like Anthony Brown a little bit. I think he's a good, solid quarterback. And again, I'm hoping their defense can continue where I left off from last year. So
me and Ray got the same team. I got the Oregon Ducks as well. I think Tyler Schlow, it might be the starter from Texas Tech. So he might be the guy that might come in there. But like you said, Anthony Brown also transferred from Boston College. So I think they're gonna be a better team. I think they're gonna have a really good defense, especially with Kayvon. How you say his name? Debato. Yeah. So he's probably gonna be a top draft pick next year. I think that they're gonna have a really good team, especially on defense. So I agree. Yeah. All right, let's get to number 8. Number 8. So number 8, I have the Tar Heels in UNC.
Okay.
I think they're still going to be a really good team. They still have Howell there. He's a really good quarterback. They lost both their running backs, so they're going to have to lean a little bit more on Howell, and they lost both their starting wide receivers. So that's going to be a little interesting to see. But I think Sam Howell has the talent to elevate some of his players, and I think the defense is going to be a lot better this year.
I'm a little scared of them only because they did lean heavily on their running game last year, and now they lost both of their running backs, and I'm not sure that Sam Howell is as advertised. I mean, if he is, we'll see. Their defense scares me too because it wasn't very good last year, and without a running game to keep them off the field, I'm a little leery of them. I mean, I like Mac Brown.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for him, but I left him just outside my top 10, like at number 11 as well. So
okay. Yeah, I think that they got Ty Chancellor too. So I think he's gonna be a good addition in the running back as well.
Okay.
But I think last year the problem with offense was that they didn't, like we talked about this before last year. It seemed like they was kind of in a identity crisis. Like 1 week they would go super pass heavy, the next week they go super run heavy, and because I feel like they didn't know what they want to do. I think now they're like, all right, both our really good running backs are out. Now we can actually do what we probably wanted to do last year with Sam Howell and have him throw a little bit more. So I think I wanted to put them in my top 10. So who will be your number 8, right?
I have Texas at number 8. I think Steve Sarkisian obviously is a good play caller. I'm not so sure that their play calling last year wasn't what was hindering them a little bit. Again, I mean, this is a projection. I think we had this, me and you and whoever else is on the podcast with us, always has this conversation about looking for Texas to be Texas again.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking Sarkisian will take the talent and maybe mold them into what he wants them to be, which I think is going to be a pretty good offense, especially after they get their feet underneath of them. And I think their defense is good enough to keep them in games. So,
yeah, I have Texas Tech actually.
Okay.
I think they're going to be a really. Sorry, not Texas Tech. Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Yeah.
Texas A&M. Sorry. I think they're going to be a good team. They lost Kellen Mond, so that's going to be a little bit of blow to them. But I think that their guy King, I think he's going to be their starter. So I think he's going to be really a really good kid. I think that they've shown a lot of promise last year. Obviously certain games it was just looking really bad, but I think that they're going to take that next step this year as Texas Tech.
I agree with you.
All right, cool. All right, let's go to number 7. Right, who you have?
I have Florida at number 7.
Florida
again. Emory Jones playing quarterback, Damian Pierce at running back, Jordan Pouncey, Jacob Copeland, and Justin Shorter. Again, good wide receivers there. Pretty good offense usually. Good play caller as a head coach. I think Florida always has the talent to compete. Mm-hmm. They just need to be more consistent, kind of like Texas, So
definitely. So yeah, I actually have Texas there. So I'll push Texas a little bit up for the same reason you did, right? So we were pretty much close with Texas. Mm-hmm. Again, I think that Texas is going to lean on that the running back. What's his name? Jabari Johnson or something like that.
Yeah,
that's his name. He's really good. He's a really fast running back. He's going to be a difference maker for them. I think they're going to love him, and they're going to really ride him. I think he was a freshman last year.
Bijan Robinson, correct?
Bijan, there you go. Bijan Robinson. Robinson, that's what I'm going to say. I said Johnson.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson, yeah. I believe he was a freshman last year. He's going to, he got his feet. He was just getting his feet wet last year, and he was looking like a strong running back.
I think Texas is a pretty good team. And I like Jake Smith, their wide receivers, and Joshua Moore, Troy O'Meara, and K Money, which is probably the best college football name you can have, K Money. But, I think that they have talent. And again, I'm a traditionalist, man. I like it when the older teams that I'm used to being good are good. So
correct.
Kind of why I left Notre Dame in my top 10. You know how it is.
Whatever, right? All right, let's get to number 6. I'm gonna say my first. I had Iowa State. I think they're gonna be a lot better this year. They lost a lot of. No, not a lot. They lost Jaquan Bailey. He's actually on the Eagles now, so really want to see how he does with the Eagles as an undrafted guy. But they're keeping a lot of their core guys, and I think that now that they kept their core guys, they're going to be a lot better. Charlie Kohler, one of the best tight ends in the country. Their quarterback, I forgot his name. I'm blanking on the quarterback name. Brock Brody. This is gonna be one of those years that he needs to really step up and show that, hey, I'm one of those top quarterbacks again. So we'll see how that goes. But I do like Breece Hall, however you say it, Bryce Breece. I think he's gonna be a big factor in this offense, and having that play action where Brody can do the play action and then throw it over the top to Kohler. I think that's going to be a good combination. I think they're going to be a lot better this year, hopefully, in theory.
I think you're right. I love Kohler. I think Breece Hall is probably, if not the best college football running back this year, in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I am a Brock Purdy fan, but he was so inconsistent last year.
He was.
It's hard to put your hat on him right now. It really is. But again, I'm rooting for the kid because I like him. So
correct. Yeah, coming into last year, I think he was one of our top quarterbacks.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear the comparison of Drew Brees, dude, I'm always afraid. I'm always afraid, man.
Yeah. They throw out. I feel like the Drew Brees comparison get thrown around.
It's like Matt, like Colt McCoy, Drew Brees. Then now it's Aaron Murray. I mean, I just like any shorter quarterback or guy who's I shouldn't say not Murray. Murray's great athlete. I'm thinking of the quarterback for the Browns. They always want to give him. Why can't I? This is why I hate when I switch from college to pro. Baker Mayfield. They always want to give everybody like the Drew Brees comparison.
Yeah,
Drew
when
Brees
he's short,
is an anomaly, man.
Yeah,
he's not. He's not. You can't. Anytime you say somebody's going to be that guy, dude. Just
the only one that I felt that actually fit the Drew Brees comparison was Russell Wilson.
Well, I think, I agree with you. Of course, Russell Wilson is a way better athlete.
Yeah, correct.
But there are a lot of accuracy, and you know what? Drew Brees never had a strong arm, but he was really ridiculously accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But Russell Wilson can sling the ball, man.
Correct, he can.
That's the difference. You know what I mean? Kyler Murray can sling it for a little guy.
Yeah, Kyler Murray
has an arm, man.
Very talented
sure.
kid. He's very talented.
He is.
He played baseball too, so that helped.
There's another comparison,
Yeah. So who was your number 6, Ray?
I have Texas A&M at number 6.
Nice.
Again, Haynes King, Isaiah Spiller, I think is a very underrated running back for college. Chase Lane, wide receiver, Khalid Chapman, Desmond Demas. I think that they're a talented team. I think that some people thought they should have been a top 4 team last year. And if they continue to play well, maybe they do sneak in there. I don't see it. But they're going to be some team people especially if you're an A&M fan, you'll be like, yeah, we deserve at least a shot to be in there. So we'll see.
Definitely. All right, number 5. Ray, you're going to go first with this one. Who you got?
I have Ohio State at number 5, man. I do. I just have them. Now, I'm saying that with the thing I know after this, we're going to get into our top 4, which will be playoff teams. Mm-hmm. If Ohio State is that number 4th team, it wouldn't surprise me. But right now, I have them just outside the top 4 at number 5. So, again, we all know Ohio State is that team in the Big Ten that they just keep reloading every year. So,
correct.
They have a lot of players to replace, but I'm sure they'll get it done.
Yeah. I would say this top 5 was probably the hardest top 5 for me. Based on a lot of these top 5 teams have new quarterbacks, and I really have my rankings based on returning quarterbacks and things like that. These top 5s had almost all of them have new quarterbacks, so that kind of worries me a little bit. But I'm gonna say number 5. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Georgia for me. I think that they are going to have a better team, and they might be better than this. But this is the one team that has a consistent quarterback, and T.J. Daniels, coming from USC. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. But they lost a lot on that defense. Alicia Ozuri. Monte Rice, Eric Stokes, Tyson Campbell, Richard LeCount, Malik Herring. Like that's a lot of their core guys they had, especially in that secondary. So I'm a little concerned with that, having so many new guys in that defense. Ray, what do you think about them being 5?
I like Georgia. I actually have them at number 4 before we get too much into it. I have Georgia at number 4.
Okay.
I think, again, JT Daniels is a good quarterback. I don't think he's exceptional. I think he's a good, solid player, though.
Yeah.
And he's a good college quarterback. I mean, I have them number 4, so
that
tells you what I think. So
yeah. Well, let's just say, all right, so you have Georgia at 4.
I do.
Why do you have them over Ohio State?
More consistent quarterback play. I don't know exactly what Ohio State right now. They have C.J. Stroud, Zach Miller, and Kyle McCord all trying to be the guy, and I'm not sure about how that's going to work out. Losing the quarterback they lost from last year, that's a big hit, man.
I agree. My number 14 is Ohio State.
Yeah.
New quarterback. Lost their number 1 running back. But I do like the receivers. They got really, really good receivers. They got last year's 2 of the top wide receivers in the country. And then also Chris Olave is coming back. So I think it was Fleming. I think it was Flemings, Olave, and I forgot the other kid's name.
I actually have Emeka Egbuka, and De'Vion Henderson.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like their skill players. Again, I think losing Justin Fields is a hit. I like Master Teague. I think he's a good running back. I do.
Yeah.
And again, I wouldn't be surprised if they slip in there ahead of Georgia, or maybe my number 3 team. I like my number 3 team a lot. So I don't think they're going to overtake them, but I won't be surprised if it's going to be Georgia, Ohio State, who's going to fight for that number 4 spot. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. And CJ Stout looking. I mean, he's turning heads already. Just coming in, and there's already highlights of him throwing the ball and stuff like that already that people were like hyped up on Twitter about. So. We'll see how that goes, though. He got a lot of weapons. You know, it won't be too hard for him just transitioning coming in. So we'll definitely see how that goes. Ray, did you say your number 4 yet?
I did. I have Georgia at number 4.
Correct. All right, so let's get to the next one, which is number 3. Who you got there, Ray?
I have Oklahoma at number 3. Strong offense. I mean, really out of the top 5 teams for the first time, I think. Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, they don't have the best quarterback in college football. I think it's Oklahoma. I think it's I think Spencer Rattler may be the best college quarterback this year.
Yeah. I agree. I got the Sooners as well. Rattler definitely came into the year kind of shaky. He actually got even benched.
He did
at one point, but since he got benched, he's been playing very, very well. And I believe it was his first year starting. I think he was a sophomore, so he didn't have a lot of experience. So this year he should come in with a lot more confidence. They didn't lose a lot. They really didn't. They only lost one receiver, which is Tarleton and Rambo. They did lose Stevenson, but the rest of the team, I mean, they got Kenny Brooks, they got Mario Williams Jr. as a wide receiver. They're one of the teams that didn't lose a lot, so they should be. They lost Ronnie Perkin on defense, but
Theo Weiss, Jaden Hazelwood, Marvin Mims at wide receiver. They're a pretty loaded team, and I think
Mims
Rattler actually turned a corner after getting benched last year, and it really played. And honestly, Jerome, if he continues to play, he's going to want to be a top 5 pick in this year's draft. So I think he's going to. I expect him to move forward and keep getting better. To be honest with you,
definitely.
He's not a tall guy, like big in stature. He's like a legit 6'1" or so, but the kid can sling it, man.
I agree. So, all right, number 2, Ray. Who you got at number 2?
I have Clemson at number 2. I do. Again, lost a lot of talent, but we all saw last year that DJ Magalia can actually play. He's a big, sturdy kid with a strong arm. I expect him to make huge strides this year. Lynn Dixon at running back, Justin Ross back at wide receiver, E.J. Williams, Joseph Nagata. I think they're a pretty loaded offense, except for losing Trevor Lawrence and the running back. I think they're still a really good team. And they're very well coached. Obviously, I expect them to be, I think Oklahoma, Alabama, and Clemson will fight out for the top 3 teams in the country this year. So
for sure. I am going to say Alabama here at number 2. Very slightly. Honestly, I think these 2 teams are actually very close. Actually, I think that Alabama's having a new quarterback in. It is Bryce Young. He's a very promising guy. I believe he was a 5-star recruit. But new first year, new guys. Alabama always have a lot of great talent, especially on the wide receiver position. But I think that they're going to be number 2 in my opinion, simply because more because of Bryce Young's youthfulness. They lost Mac Jones, they lost Najee Harris, they lost Devonta Smith, they lost Jalen Waddle, they lost Alex Leatherwood, Landon Dickerson, Devontae Brown, Dylan Moses, Patrick Surtain. Now the defense, I still think the defense is going to be really good still. It's just the offense. They lost a lot on offense, a lot. So I just think that with a young quarterback and losing a lot of your experience, it's just going to be a little tough for me to give them that number 1 spot. I think they're still going to be a very competitive though, right?
I mean, I have Alabama number 1. Yeah. I expect them to reload. I mean, honestly, I know people are – I don't think Mac Brown's was that great of a quarterback, or Mac Jones. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't think he was a great quarterback. But here's the worry: if some of them skill players were back at Alabama, I won't be as worried about the quarterback. But they're not, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I expect them.
Bryce Young is definitely way better than Mac Jones. I'll say that
right
now.
Right.
I say that now without even him throwing the ball.
I think Brian Robinson will be running back this year. I think that they're going to run the ball more than they have the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They ran it pretty good last year with Najee Harris.
Correct.
I expect them to lean on the running game a little bit and play better defense. So we'll see.
Correct. I do like Evan Neal. I think he's going to be a top player in the league too. I mean, in the draft this year coming up. So we say, but obviously my number 1 would be Clemson. The reason why I got Clemson over Alabama is that DJ Utu. Man, I had it last year and I forgot how to say it. Atululule?
I had it. You would go, yeah, whatever. Yeah, that name. Yeah, that guy.
Yes, DJ.
Yes,
he played very good in the absence of Trevor Lawrence after COVID hit him. So I think that he had a little experience. He's gonna come back in. He's gonna be really good. The receivers I think took a little dip in talent a little bit, but I still think they're really good. They lost Travis Etienne as a running back, but I do think this team's going to be good. They lost Amari Rogers as well, but I still think they're going to be really good. The defense look like they're still going to be a really good defense as well. I can't. I don't see. It's going to be honestly Alabama and Clemson is going to be neck and neck going for it, and it's going to really come down to really the quarterback play for both of these teams. So, I mean, that's what I think, Ray.
I agree with that part of it, Jerome. I just think that if I'm gonna look at one team to get their defensive play above everyone else, Nick Saban's Nick Saban's a great defensive mind. I mean, obviously, I mean, I am a little bit I really don't care. I mean, I'm not a Clemson or an Alabama fan.
Yeah,
Uiagalelei is a good quarterback, but he's not the runner that Lawrence was.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll help out the running game as much as Lawrence did. And
I agree with that, but at the same time, I don't feel like he needs to run, and he can still run. He reminds me of he got the body of a Cam Newton, but he don't actually run as much as Cam Newton.
No, he's a Jim Kelly type. He's a big sturdy guy who can run when he needs to. But he would rather sit in the pocket and throw the ball, obviously. Right. And he has a cannon.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. He definitely does. I'm actually really he's one of the guys that I'm super excited to watch this year.
Man.
Out of all the quarterbacks right now, I know there's a lot of good quarterbacks and there's a lot of young guys who are coming in this year. But he's the one guy that I'm super excited to see. I got, like you say, got a little glimpse of him last year. And I think that I don't know. I think that it's just going to be fun watching him. So that's why that's going to be my number one team. They got more stability at their quarterback position than Alabama or Ohio State. So but it is funny that our top 5 teams are all kind of got newer quarterbacks.
See, that's why if you say I know college is a little bit different than the NFL, but if you're going to go with the best quarterback, you got to go with Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? That's why I think Oklahoma has a shot if they could ever get their defense to play a little bit above dead water, man. Just a little bit better. Their offense, they're going to score points. So
I agree, Ray. All right. So with that being said, so I think both of us got all 4 of these teams in our top 4, which is the Sooners, Clemson, Alabama, and
actually you had Ohio State and I had Georgia.
Yeah, okay. I had Ohio State, you had Georgia. So out of those 4, so you're hold on, I'm trying to think. You have Alabama versus Georgia.
Yes.
Okay, and then Clemson versus
Oklahoma.
All right, out of those matchups, who's winning?
I'll be honest with you. I would take Alabama and I would take Oklahoma.
Oh, over Clemson.
Man.
Wow. Yeah, man. So obviously I have Ohio State versus Clemson, and I have Alabama versus Ohio State. It's going to be I think Alabama versus Ohio State. I'm sorry. Alabama versus
Oklahoma.
Oh, Clemson. I didn't have wait, hold on. I'm now confused.
Yeah, you would have had Clemson at number 1 against Ohio State.
I had Ohio State out, yeah.
And then Alabama at 2 and Oklahoma at 3.
Yeah. So with the results, still I had Alabama versus Clemson in the finals. So who's gonna win the championship for you, Bray?
If you're giving me Alabama or Clemson, I'm going to go Alabama.
Okay. I'm going
especially
Clemson.
By then.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, dang, now that you say it like that, right? Now that you say it like that,
especially with a month to prepare for the game.
Yeah. Now that you say it like that, right?
I mean, man. Alabama didn't look like they were the best. Like they played pretty well this year, but it didn't look like their defense was all that until the end of the year. You know,
right.
So.
No, excuse me. No, you're right. It's just that again, like for me, I always start like at least in college football, I always start with it kind of like that everywhere, but I always start with the quarterback, and then I look at the running backs. And Alabama lost both of them. I mean, Clemson did too, but like I said, DJ has more experience. He has, he played some games. But even though, like how you say, right, by the end of the year, that's tough for me, right? That is tough for me because Alabama is clearly going to have the better defense. This is just clearly going to have the better defense. Yes.
And again, you give me the better defense. And get me wrong, I know Dabo Swinney is a great coach, but he's more a great recruiter.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, if you're going to give me who's a better game coach, I'm going to take Nick Saban.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you convinced me, right? I'm going to have to say Alabama.
Man.
You convinced me, and then I convinced myself. Cause I'm like, all right, well, Alabama's clearly going to have the better defense. By the end of the year, Bryce Young's going to have experience, and the running back's going to be fine. You already know the offensive line going to be fine. Oh, man, right, you convinced me. I just don't keep seeing Alabama win.
Well, no one does, man.
But
honestly, if you said to me, out of these top 4 or 5 teams, I wish Oklahoma would win. Even though I've never been an Oklahoma fan, I would just like to see them in a big game because they're going to score points. And if whoever they beat, they're going to score 45, 50 points. And that's fun to watch.
Definitely. Yeah, again, this year is going to be fun to watch. There's so much turnover at quarterback position. Like, I honestly, I like it when it's like a lot of the best teams get new quarterbacks because then you get to see them kind of grow. I love that. I love to see how the quarterbacks go throughout the seasons and stuff like that.
I mean, the thing is, for the first time in, let's face it, man, 3-4 years, Alabama and Clemson don't look unbeatable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Again, by the end of the year, will Alabama look unbeatable then?
Yeah.
There's a possibility they will, but right now they don't look unbeatable.
Definitely.
They both lost so much talent, basically.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I don't like Ohio State, but losing Justin Fields, man, that's a big loss. It really is.
Yeah. That's why I was debating to put them in the 5 or not. Ultimately, Ohio State recruits really well too, and like I said, they got a lot of good receivers. Like their receivers are ridiculous. It's actually kind of scary. Like their receiving group might start looking like Alabama's receiving group the last couple of years. With the talent they got at the receiving group. That's all going to depend on the quarterback, obviously. But
of course, here's the thing: if Alabama finishes number 1, say they do, like right now we have a chance. That's fine. And could Clemson finish ahead of them? There's always a possibility. They have a weaker schedule, obviously. They play, they don't play in the SEC, so they do play a weaker schedule. I don't care what anyone says, but whatever. But if Alabama plays Ohio State or Georgia, we already know the outcome of that game.
Yeah,
Alabama rolls them.
Yeah,
they will roll them.
No,
now if it's Oklahoma or Clemson, could they lose to them? Yeah, they could. I don't think they will, but they could. But they're not losing to Georgia or Ohio State. They're not.
No, they're not. No, you're right. That's impressive. I really think that.
That's what makes it exciting this year because, like I said, for the first time,
it's kind of leveled off.
Ohio State. Even Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, the teams you thought, well, they're definitely top 3 teams, and no one would have argued with you the last 3-4 years. But now there's a case to be made for some of these other teams, which is always good.
I'm gonna say this, and I always say this, and I'm just gonna keep beating this drum. make the playoffs larger, man. Come on,
they need to expand it to. You know what? Really, they should expand it to 8 teams.
I agree. You can't have it 14. You can't keep it 4 teams because you're gonna have the same 4 teams every year.
You're right about that.
It just like with 8 teams, you give it more possibility that somebody get upset, and then you're gonna have more viewers. Like, come on, guys. Like,
well, you know what's gonna, you know what'll happen though, Jerome? This year, either Florida, Texas, Notre Dame, or maybe even Ohio State will be left out of that top 4, and then they'll start talking about expanding it to more.
Oh yeah,
because then they're going to be like, wait for one of Ohio State or even like say Michigan makes a jump and they wind up finishing the top 10. Don't think they will, but if they were in that top 10 range, feel like, man, we could have Michigan this year, we could have had Notre Dame, we could have had, like I said, we could have Texas A&M, could have Florida, would have added some spice, would have added a lot of TV viewing, and then like, you know what, maybe moving it to 6 or 8 teams is not a bad idea.
Exactly. But I don't know why I just don't want to do it. I think they keep saying because it's the money and the bowls, but like I think you still make them bowls, but like just have it in a playoff setting.
If you expand it to 8 teams, you will make more money.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
No, you will. You'll make more money because you'll have all them teams that would go. Well, every year they're going to go to the bowl games. The fans are going to go to the bowl games. Exactly. Now, if that's a chance to go to a national championship game, they will go wherever the team goes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I mean, like, why not just expand it to say 6 teams in the beginning? And then, you're still going to have a couple of teams where people are going to, moan and groan they should have been in there. And honestly, I think sometimes the board likes that. They like having fans, moaning and groaning, oh, we should add a shot, because it adds a little spice to the whole thing.
Yeah, I get that too. But, like, man, like, a couple of years ago, what team was it? I want to say Washington. I don't know. No, it wasn't Washington. A team got – I think it was TCU. Was it TCU?
Yeah, it was TCU. Yeah, it was.
It was TCU, right?
Yeah, it was.
Really, that was the one thing that I hate too, because, like, college football, everything can change in 1 year. And TCU had the opportunity to get into the playoffs, look good. Maybe they wouldn't have won it, but they would have looked good. And then, it would have helped their recruiting as well.
Oh, well, of course.
But they didn't get in. They didn't get a chance to show what they did. They got kicked out of it. And now TCU looking, they don't have that next opportunity because they don't have the recruiting and the players what are good. That's why I think like expanding the playoffs will be very beneficial, because you'll have that extra team in there. Now they can show what they can do, and they only like I said, every team's not Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State that can just replenish every year. So like when they have that opportunity, that one-time opportunity, and they're looking good that year, but they can't get in the playoffs because they can't get into the top 4. Like, that is crazy to me. I don't know.
No, I agree, Jerome. I think they need to expand it. I don't think TCU would have won anything, but it would have excited their fans to get in the tournament. And to me, last year, with the team that like kind of was on the outside looking, it was Texas A&M. They had a really good year last year, and I think a lot of people thought they should be in the thing, because that's who why is Notre Dame in there? Texas A&M should be in there over them, but. No, I again will think the same thing, that Notre Dame would beat Texas A&M. Yeah, but I just think Notre Dame is a better team, or was last year.
Notre Dame last year came on really strong late.
Yes, and they had their defense was really good last year.
It was really good.
And as much as I don't like Ian Book, he's a good, solid college player. And their running game, I think, is still going to be pretty good this year. Kyron Williams is a stud.
I love that kid. Him and Robinson are going to be some of my favorite running backs this year.
Yep.
Oh,
Brees Hall, like you said before.
Brees Hall's another one.
Yeah.
And my guy Vaughn. From Kansas State. I love that kid. I love that
yeah.
kid. He's very exciting. He reminds me.
Yeah, there's going to be.
I hate to give the Darren Sproles comparison, but it kind of do remind me of Darren Sproles.
See, that's the thing. Like, that's why I think if you play against Alabama and you're going to try to run against Alabama, you're not going to beat them.
Yeah.
You're not. They're going to shut you down, man. Because as far I'm not a Nick Saban fan, but as far as coaching defensive backfields, he's the best in the business, man.
He really is. He always producing some kind of DB back there as well. So, like you said, their team's low. Especially their defense. They always got some kind of talent in there.
Man. This time last year, no one knew who the defensive tackle was that they had.
Yeah.
They were like, well, what happened? Where'd this guy come from? He played the year before, but he didn't get enough time to field because they were loaded every year.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
It literally happens every year. But that's going to do it for us today, guys. Next week, we're going to talk a lot more college football, guys, so stay locked with us. We got a lot more good content for you until the season starts. Definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time talking about this. Ray had a great time tonight talking about the top 10 and seeing our differences in it. We had a lot of similarities if it wasn't too different. I was actually surprised about that, Ray. But definitely, guys, thank you so much for checking us out. Make sure you check us out on all our social media platforms, Inside the Hashes, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel, which we're live on right now. If you're not already on there, please go like and subscribe. If you're not liked and subscribed, please do that so you can know when our podcasts come out. We try to do it every Wednesday. Sometimes we switch it up, like we were just on Monday. We was just on Monday.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure that you're locked in on YouTube and have the notification bell so you know when the podcasts come out. Also, make sure that you share it so your friends can, come in and join the fun. And, we're an interactive podcast, so we always do comments. So even if you're not on live and you're watching it later on, please leave a comment at the bottom, and we'll definitely respond to that. Also, check us out on all our podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that, because we interview a lot of players that are in the NFL. They get drafted. A lot of players that's still in the college ranks. We're going to have a lot of players that we're going to be talking to a lot very soon. So make sure you go in there, listen to some of those interviews. Some great players that we always interview each year. So make sure you go check that as well. Guys, thank y'all so much. Again, we really do appreciate you guys coming in on this fine Wednesday night. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you again next week. Peace.